When I hear that phrase, I think of Jesus as being Lord of everything, every aspect of my life, from when I wake up to when I go to sleep. And knowing that I'm batting for that winning team, if you like. Jesus has won that victory, even though sometimes we can't see it and we don't feel it. And I, to be honest, don't feel it sometimes. Many times I think, is Jesus really Lord of this situation in my life? If I'm going through some really tough times, how can I say that Jesus is Lord of this? But knowing that he has won that victory and there will be tough times, but ultimately knowing that he's Lord of everything is something that helps me through those situations.
It gives me comfort, it gives me peace, especially through hard times, because it means that he has all power, all authority, all dominion over everything, every aspect of my life. So it gives me a sense of comfort to know that Jesus has the last say. It's kind of putting God into perspective. We have like prime ministers, we have governments, we have different rulers, but there's actually a greater ruler, which is God.
You just need that anchor, that thing that's the same all the time, regardless of where you're at. Jesus is always here in this place. Jesus is always this person. Jesus always stands for this. Those days where your prayers hit the ceiling and that you think, what was the point of that? Those are the days where you have to trust and say, Jesus is Lord and he's the anchor.
I want to bow down and worship him in the best way that I can. I want to ensure that he has the best of me.
The Lordship of Christ, if it's genuine, is not just a mental assent to it, not just recognizing Jesus exists and not just a belief, but it will be actual actions and a lifestyle that backs up that belief. So if Jesus is Lord, I'm going to submit my life to his Lordship and I'm going to do what he tells me to do.
Jesus deserves me to be obedient and to dedicate time to being with him, to dedicate time to showing love for others through my actions.
It keeps me on the right track. I've given him permission to be Lord of my life, and there's no barriers. I don't keep him out of my life. I don't keep him out of anything.
So before listening and responding to God's calling, I was focused on money and wealth and material things, always trying to keep up with other people with the same attitude. I pretended that I could have everything I wanted, constantly treating myself. On hearing that calling though, I gave up my career and changed my perspective. God told me that I didn't need these things in my life anymore. I didn't need the new car or the best of everything, because he would provide me with exactly what I needed.
In faith, we're always in conflict because we've got one leg in the spiritual realm, one leg in this worldly.
Well, it's not my money, it's God's money. I asked him to help me to be good steward with it. I listen to him for if he wants me to use it for any reason, and I give him thanks for it.
Whether the finances that I have being provided for by God or through the skills and talents that he's given me to enable me to work as a disciple, I give to others, whether this is financially through being generous with the things that I have, or whether it's just opening my home to other people and sharing a meal with them.
So money is a great tool and a great resource. And I grew up it being drilled into me that we have to give our tithe and our offering. We give to the church and we give in to those who are in need. And that's an act of worship to God by kind of submitting our finances to God. So I would give to my local church. I do feel it's important to give to Christian organizations or charities that are doing great work and making an impact, so you can kind of see where your money's going as well, and to further the work of the kingdom. But I try and see that, I'm not just giving my money to a church. I'm not just giving my money away, to say, but I'm planting it like a seed, and I'm actually giving it to God through giving it to the church. But I know that money can be just a contentious issue, and all of us have different areas in our life where it's a little bit harder to submit to the Lord. The Bible talks a lot about giving and about our attitude to money, but it talks about a lot of things, and some things are more difficult than others. And there's the kind of that tug of war where I know I should, but it's really hard, and I know it's kind of tight for me this month, but I have this commitment. And there's always that kind of internal war, that tug of war.
I try to put God first when it comes to finances by tithing and giving as the Lord directs. God has given me the opportunity to have a job, to work, to have money, so I can give it back to the Lord because I know that He gave it to me first. So I just try to honour God in that respect.
I mean, probably in this country we're not very good at talking about money, both from a personal, private point of view with our friends and probably from the church as well. We probably don't talk hugely about it. But actually, if you look in the New Testament, Jesus talks about it a lot. The way I think about it is whatever we've got given to us, they're all gifts. Everything is a gift from God. So it all belonged to God originally. I mean, I try and think that God is just loaning me the stuff I have to actually use in the best way that I can. So I'll tithe away, give the first part of my money away that I get, and then try and use the rest in the right way. Having said that, as I've actually got older and had more money, I probably struggle more with having money than when I didn't have much, if that makes sense. So because the more I have, sometimes I can feel that it can be a bit of a safety net having money and resources, and it almost feels a bit like you need to rely less on God the more money you have, which is bizarre. So I can completely see why there's a lot of parables in there in the New Testament that Jesus talks about it being really hard for rich men to enter the kingdom of God. But Jesus does add to that, nothing is impossible with God. So it is a constant battle, not to place our hope in money, but actually to place our hope in God.